Hello, everybody, and welcome to the State of the Mists, a show by DPS. And I'm your host for this evening, Jebro. I'm just going to call myself Jebro. And with me this evening, I have Hibify and also Zapdos from Cheese Mode. They are the winners from the TOL2, Tournament of Legends 2, from the EU region. Hello, Hibify. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. Nice to have you two guys with me. How are you, Zapdos? You good?
Hello, I'm fine. Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this show on the road. Unfortunately, I haven't got their beautiful faces for you on cam tonight, but we do have Hibify's very interesting sloth montage, I'm going to call it, and Zapdos be represented by his true avatar, apparently. So it's quite an interesting look there. So we're going to get straight into it, as you obviously. How did you... So the first question, you're running up to TOL2. How do you actually prepare for such like a massive tournament like this, with all these teams and the possibility of getting into the final? How do you actually prepare for such a tournament?
Yeah, first of all, we had to try and get our roster together, and it took us a while to test people out, and in the end, like out of nowhere, we just found out Azura in a solo queue. Actually, Frey did it, and we recruited him since he did a really good job there, and he passed through all our testings. And later also Hiva joined us because, yeah, he just came to Europe servers, and we were just thinking, yeah, it's an NA guy. Let's see how they are playing over there. What is actually going on in NA? We talked a bit to him. And it was actually his idea to run with our special comp without a Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
And we also recruited him because of his interesting views and other ways to play, and it went out really well.
His interesting views.
Yes. Yeah, it was actually like nobody on the EU side was ever thinking about dropping Guardian, right?
No way. No, not at all. You guys
And
were the first on EU.
engineers are also quite uncommon over here.
Took me a lot to convince them to do it, but it worked out.
Nice. So how did you actually convince them? Was someone else playing Guardian then before the comp change? Or?
Yeah, actually, there was some other guy on the roster before I joined who
Yeah.
was playing Guardian. I'm sorry. And yeah, they were playing with a Guardian before, and then I convinced them to try out no Guardian comp.
Okay.
And in
Yeah,
TQs,
also-
we just found out that it was much better to roll without a Guardian, so
Like-
we kept it.
Yeah, you see my staff elementalist build, it's quite supportive and really defensive, and when we played with Pride, a really good Guardian that we just wanted to recruit, but in the end it didn't work out for our comp.
Mhm.
Yeah, we just noticed that a Guardian and a Bunker Guardian, and the staff elementalist together are just so much sustained and bunkerish that once you fall behind, you can't come back into the game. Like some good teams, 2-cap you, they could just hold it forever. They could just bunker the points for 10 minutes, and we had no way to come back if they just did it in a clever way, and so we had to go for a more offensive way.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, we think that bunker guards are not as useful as people think. They're only really useful if you're ahead of your opponent at the start of a game, because it's really hard to come back if you have a full support role on your team.
Yeah, it also
full support build.
depends on the comp. If you have a heavy split between DPS and bunker, like Guardian Mass Massive, then it works out really well. On the other hand, if you have more like defensive sustained classes like Ranger, Engineer, stuff like this,
Mm-hmm.
and allies, then you don't actually need this additional bunker part in your team.
Okay. So that's, yeah, I mean, we can see that. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember seeing you losing since you've gone this way as well, to be honest. I mean, it's tough. I mean, there's always a frustration in map chat when people go against you. They're like, we can't do anything about this because, like you said, like you got so much sustain on points that you just make the fights last for so long, and it ends up by the end of the fight you've got so many stacks of might. Everything is just.
I just want to say something.
tough
The
to
only
kill.
reason that fights last so long is because every other team runs a full bunker or two.
Yeah.
And so they can't kill us fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it seems that way.
I don't. Yeah, that's.
But
I think that's a good thing for you guys. That's kind of. I mean, because that's just how it works out in the end, really. But like, you guys are always going to win those fights, just because like you can out sustain them in damage, healing, condition removal, all that kind of stuff. So it is a good thing as well. But you know, one thing I was thinking actually is that mainly the main target on your team is always going to be you, Hibify.
Yeah.
So is that why you run? Why do you run the build you currently run? Because it's different for engineers. Like some people have started to run it. I've started to run it myself, and it is slightly different from other builds. Why do you run exactly that little change? You know, going with the rifle and the whole break runes. I mean, I know, but just for viewers and stuff, it
and
might
like
be
mods also.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
This choice is because I know after playing NG for 2 years, alright, I know what kills me the most, and it's Connies, and also MOB stacking. So running old Bracken like mods is just amazing for survivability. Like if I get MOB stacked, I'm gonna get killed so easily. But with this, I never get MOB for more than like 5 seconds. Really, it like tops. It's gonna be 5 seconds if they try really hard at MOBing me.
That's nice. And Zapdos, why is out of the two Ellies, is there a specific reason why you're playing Staff, or is it just you're the best Staff Ellie in the team?
Just at April 15th, when the Ellie buff actually went live, I just started running this build the first moment it came out, and
Oh, nice.
it's quite what I was playing since this day, and I got lots of practice on this, so I feel really confident with it, and it fits into our composition right good, because it has so much mobility. You need at least 2 classes that are fast. Like one player must be able to decap, one player must be able to defend your home point. So you have with 2 mobile classes, like we don't have a thief, so we need 2 allies. It's the only class that can actually hold up with this mobility. So, and in the team fight, I can also replace a bunker guarding a bit, like supporting my team, rotating on and off point. That's something that other teams don't have to worry about when they have a guardian, because we actually need to rotate a warrior or the allies.
Yeah, we need to coordinate this with everyone on the team. Like, it's mostly the warrior and the allies doing that, but I do it too sometimes. But I'm like the squishiest person on the team, so I try to avoid doing that actually.
I was gonna say, it must be a bit of a pain. Like but at least you know that you're always going to be the one that's going to get focused. So like the rest of the team can kind of rally around you, and we see that a lot. Like Zapdos, like he says, with the support that he has, or whoever, like a warrior, whether it's Lord, Lady, and or whatever, they're kind of always rallying around you to make sure that they're always putting the pressure back onto them, so that you're not going to die too much. But it's a really, it is a really strong team comp, and we even saw team comp like it in the SL last night, and I've seen a couple more, like obviously in NA as well. It happens. I think there's kind of a little bit of an influence there, but I think it's played differently here for varying reasons. But I'm going to go on to a next question. Okay, so we kind of went through the comp walkthrough really. And we went through where that comes from, so we don't even need to go through that question either. Outplayed by Children didn't have a Bunker Guardian either, so this is definitely where this is heading, so this is quite good. Do you think that Guardian is definitely going to be phased out forever, or not forever, but out of most teams now, because of like teams like Cheese Mode, who are kind of winning a lot, not really losing?
I wouldn't put the entire class in... like that. Like, I wouldn't say Bunker Guard is going to be completely out of use for teams. Just bunkers in general. Full bunker builds.
Yeah, as I said, if you have heavy offensive classes, glass cannons, Magma Siege, then you want to go for a Guardian, with a Guardian for sure, but when everybody can sustain himself and you get some support in, like a Spirit Ranger with a protection, a Staff Ellie with a water field and the blast healings that we can do, then Guardian's not necessary in your team, and yeah, so you can make up for this. Like a class that is just standing there, sitting around doing nothing with low mobility is not always that good, and it really depends. It will not drop out of the meta, it's not weak at all. It's in a really good spot, I think. It's just good that with the Celestial Amulet, many people hate it so much, but this amulet actually allows to go with a different playstyle. Before we only had bunker middle, team fight, Thieves tries to decap, somebody tries to prevent this, and that was all we had. And now
Yeah,
we can
now we
actually
can
do
just-
3 node splits, we can go for team fight, we can paint strategies. We don't have burst, but other teams have, so we actually see some variation of the teams. It's actually a good thing to have, I think.
We can actually spread the support that we need to keep our team alive on everyone on the team instead of just one person. So like when one of us dies, it doesn't matter that much.
That's very true.
For example,
You see that
Like-
a lot. Yeah.
Something I noticed.
It happens very often that one of us is gonna get killed in a team fight, but
Mhm.
we're still gonna win it just because. For example, in a team fight, if a team with a guardian loses their bunker guardian, the one that keeps people alive, then they're kind of done. The team fight is over, kind of. But for us, it's just everyone can kind of do everything. Everyone can res. Everyone can try to hold the point. Everyone can just,
Mm.
do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, downsides are of course that once you get outnumbered somewhere, you're gonna outnumber them too on another point, but you don't profit that much from it because you don't bring the spike. So let's say it's me and the warrior versus the guardian, nothing's gonna happen, or at least it takes very long. While Messman Steve is just spiking one of my teammates, and then they rotate over, and we're actually in disadvantage. So we really need to communicate very well to not get outnumbered at all, and always match numbers. It's really hard. Like when you play with a Thief yourself, you see that even though one mate of your team gets outnumbered, your Thief can do the same thing at the same time, and has his space to do whatever and kill opponents. But when you don't have this, there's like little room for mistakes, even though it seems to be quite easy. If you manage to put all your classes in time into the right positions, then you're gonna win most of your fights. That's what we actually rely on. But if you manage to outnumber us, to out-rotate us while we are in a stale fight with a guardian or something, and you can force this mistake on our side, then it's actually easy to beat our comp. But people are just not doing it correctly. Like 55 HP monks in the semi-final did it one time on our home point, and we overcommitted people there to get rid of the guardian. We shouldn't have done that. We should just accept that it's neutral forever.
Okay, so that's a good actually link into my next question. To be honest, I was actually going to ask what counter comp would scare you the most. So is that comp that 55 HP monks run? Is that the closest you would say you've been to being defeated, or has anyone beaten you in team queue or something where you found it quite tough?
It's close, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only reason the games were close is because. Well, I don't know. We fucked up a little bit. We had Azron on McDonald's internet, and he wasn't playing his main class, But usually they never got over 160 points against us in games. In
Where
like
he
8
was?
games.
Where was he playing from? McDonald's.
A McDonald's in Croatia.
Yeah, the internet cafes are closing at 11 p.m., so he had no choice.
Wow, that's awesome.
But personally, I think that the scariest counter comp would just be like 5 Zerkers or some really thirsty comp.
Burst, of course, but the reason why sometimes we struggle with burst is if somebody runs such a high risk comp. Like if you're on the top, you don't want to run high risk comps simply because you're winning anyways. And if we just would take risk, it would open up the possibility to beat anyone, but we can already do this. So if we would run a high risk comp, it makes no sense. And teams that actually do this, they have a chance to beat us, of course.
But playing 5 Celestial team comp, playing our team comp, is not as easy as people make it sound like. It takes a lot of team coordination. It takes really good players to make it work. To be honest.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of communication going on in games with our team is just phenomenal. It's crazy.
Yeah. As I said, once you get outnumbered, you're gonna die pretty fast. Meanwhile, you cannot score a kill on your side, but once you're one player behind, you're just gonna get snowballed through the whole game because you're just respawning, running in, getting killed because you don't have a guardian who can actually stop the snowball on your side. So it is not as forgiving as people might think. should just try it yourself. It's a really strong comp. Sometimes you get your favorite matchups every time, and then it seems a bit easy and overpowered. But it has downsides too, and there's a reason why still most of the teams stick to a Guardian because they don't feel comfortable without a Guardian, since
Honestly,
it really makes up for mistakes.
I hope that people pick up our playstyle and start to play it more and more, so that we can bring up the counter comp. Even though, like, I know that there's no other team out there that could play it better than us.
Yeah.
I just want to bring the counter comp. Because like
Something
right now, no one knows how to beat us for some reason. No one can make it happen.
Something interesting I saw on the A team that won is that they have 5 sustained classes, yes, but not really classes that can fight on point. If you would just split out the warrior to push, like, who could sit on a point? It's a free DK every time.
Yeah.
That's what I think is a bit weird on their comp, that they have nobody, like 2 allies in the warrior on our side, can just fight anyone on point, but I don't see this on their comp, so I don't really understand how they could win this tournament. I didn't watch all the games, I just watched the final. Like, they put out an amazing amount of pressure still, but I don't think it's something you want to run.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the pressure they were putting out meant that they could actually leave like someone on point to just hold that cap if they needed. So they were being so offensive on the other nodes that the other team just couldn't even get close, I guess. But yeah, you're right.
Also lack of experience against this high pressure.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like you said, with the whole Guardian thing, most people will be scared to drop it because I think, it's been played with for so long, ever since, forever. I can't remember where there wasn't really a full bunker before I started getting properly into SPVP. But I think a lot of people would be scared to actually just drop it, like you said. So it's all about, changing things. And I think Cheese Mode is one of those, one of those teams which does, it's cheesy, but they're doing it first. So, what there's no why not do it and like you said, you guys are the best at this comp anyway, so I would be interested to see actually what would happen if you came up against children, or you came up against children. That sounds bad.
I think we would just absolutely destroy them.
Sorry, Herbify.
I think we would just absolutely destroy them. I'm sorry, but they
Oh,
run
really? Okay.
a lot of Connie cleave, and our comp is so strong against Connies.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we
I don't
need
know.
to get this. Maybe we need to do this. Maybe we need to do the.
I'd like to make it happen, but I don't know
Yeah.
if my team wants to do it. Because they were actually planning to quit the game, win or lose at TOL.
Right.
After the tournament, some of them.
Okay, so that's I guess that could go on to a possible question that I've just made up in my head. So, what would you do if? I mean, you don't have to say who's thinking about leaving, but would you want to fill those exact roles, or would you just get in good players or people that no matter what role they are, and fit them into the team and change your comp and your tactics and whatnot, or would you want people to fill the same role as those guys who are leaving?
Oh, we don't even know if anyone is leaving.
Okay.
Because people are not sure about this.
Hypothetically,
It
though.
depends.
Hypothetically, okay. Yeah, we would just see first whatever class works out really good. Like a Necro is slow, it's still got no real sustain buff. I think it's getting a buff on some utilities that you're not using anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't like this class in my team. It just doesn't
fit.
It doesn't fit. I think it doesn't
The thing
fit.
is, if we change one thing, we'd probably have to change other stuff at the same
Yeah.
time as well. Because right now, the way we play it is we have 5 hybrid sustain, tanky DPS builds, and it just works out perfectly together. I don't think I would replace anything right now, but with a balance patch, I don't
Might
know,
be
maybe.
forced to.
Yeah, with the
I have
benefits,
no idea.
obviously we will not stack warriors anymore. It was just something because Dave's internet was so bad that he really couldn't play ranger because
Maybe
it
replace
wasn't
warrior
forgiving enough.
For
replace warrior
Meditation
with
Guardian.
Yeah, meditation guardian seems.
It's solid, even with
Yeah, we have
Celestial
to see.
Amulet.
We have to see.
With Celestial Amulet, though, it feels too weak. I don't feel like it has enough damage with Celestial Amulet.
Like we can totally
So-
see using a guardian after this patch because not a full bunker guardian, not this useless guardian.
It is in
Because
your
it
comp,
is-
that's for sure.
Yeah, in our comp it would be useless because we have too much sustain already. So we can see maybe an offensive guardian fitting into our comp if we're dropping a warrior, because we still need people fighting on point. It's a conquest game mode. Whatever team captures points wins, so we got to make sure that we have some melee classes on the point. So it would actually make up for it. And yeah, the future thing, we don't know if our ranger sticks to the game, because the balance patch doesn't seem to be too promising for rangers. They are trying to buff some kind of build, some type of playstyle that will never make it into a tournament role, because
it's too long range.
Long range for on the one side. You need to. It's conquest game mode. You want to be on point. Of course, there are some range classes like Mesmer Thief that work out because they bring stuff to the team. Like the DPS ranger brings nothing to the team but damage from range. He's not mobile. He's not very solid in 1v1 situations. He's just thief food. You just train him down. Just focus him with Mesmer Thief and just train him down. I don't see the point of this build, and they're not listening or looking at the tournament build and trying to improve this and give ranger a role that actually, I don't know, help. They're not trying to improve the tournament build to actually bring it into the tournaments. I can't see why, but that's why our ranger's really demotivated at the moment, and he might drop out. Then we don't know about Frey. He might get motivation through this cash prize tournament. Lord Azora is not 18 years old, so he won't be eligible to play this tournament. Lipion is also not 18 years old, so our roster is quite... I don't know.
Also, I might not even be able to play with Cheese Mode.
Yeah, Hiba is from Canada, so we don't know yet if he will be allowed to play with us.
Yeah, there's info coming up like definitive that I don't know in the future that will definitely confirm and whatnot. But yeah, I think like the 18 rule is gonna, it does rule out a bit. I mean, are they fairly close in age, or are they kind of far off the 18?
One is 16, the other 17, but there's so many restrictions. I don't get it anyways.
Yeah, it's tough when you kind of go into a new tournament, and you're going around the world and you're taking people around as well. There's things like, being an adult is just a lot easier to kind of get people around. It's really, all about liability and making sure people are going to be okay, and guardianship and things like that. It's all kind of, when you start to go into this tournament scene that we're going into, there's a lot more fiddly political lawyer stuff, which I don't know much about, to be honest, but I know it's tough to work around. But that was good, actually. The forts, so you're not sure. I mean, you can still enter Tournament of Glory. You don't have to be 18 and over to enter that. And
I
then
tried to convince my team to play this.
I don't know. If we can't play China, I don't think they want to play in Tournament of Glory at all.
Okay.
It's not even a full armor set if you get first place too. I don't know what they were thinking. It's only 3 pieces for first place.
It might be like 3 pieces across the whole armor set, though. I'm not 100% sure, but it could be one of those, outfit things where you put 1 piece on and it combines like 3 pieces together, if you know.
And also, I don't think anyone likes that there's like 4 weeks of qualifiers and then the actual tournament.
I mean, it's different this time round. I'd have to double check the schedule. I think it's like 2 weekends for each region now. So they have, so it's a lot shorter. There's less teams in it as well. So there is more kind of, I guess it's more compact in that way, which is a lot better. We just have to see how it works out. I think DPS are running NA side and Misspedia running EU side. So it'd be interesting to see the differences as well, I think. But it would be a shame not to see you guys in it, that's for sure. I do like Cheese Mode. I would like to see you guys in it. Because I like the fact that you've gone against the grain and doing something different, even though it is cheesy.
Something I wanted to say is, as you can see, we struggle a bit with our roster and people are dropping out. So we are actually, in the future, we will be recruiting, maybe. So if you're a top player, you can just contact me in-game. It's a good chance to get to the top and play the China tournament, get some cash maybe.
Plug right there. Cheese Mode. If you guys, anyone in chat, we do have like quite a few viewers now. It's quite good. If you, like Zapdos said, get in touch with him, and maybe you could be in Cheese Mode. That'd be pretty sweet.
we tend to give many players a chance. We test out so many players. It took me like 2 or 3 months before the Tournament of Legend roster was actually finished because we tested
right.
so many players. And yeah, like our current DDLE, he actually came from World versus World, so you don't even need that much of tournament experience since the rotation stuff in this is easy to learn. The hard thing is to master your class to be mechanically on the top level. And this is, yeah, currently
You were
we
lucky as
might
hell
like...
to find me.
What again?
I said you were lucky as hell to find me, and I made you run the comp.
It's all about fate. That's fated, isn't it? You found Hibify, the crazy sloth obsessed person. It's good. It works well, you know. Sometimes you need someone to come in and just shake things up a little bit, and then everyone helps each other, and it feels like you guys work well as a team. Like you say, communication is like one of the most important things in this game. I mean, I know I don't play in a team, but I still play. And if I don't go on TeamSpeak with a team, I almost don't even bother sometimes, because communication is so important. And when you can see that when people play, you can see, oh, they've got a bit of lack of communication here because someone's going to a point which has already got 2 players of the opposite team on, and he's just going to run in straight away, even when the point's not even nearly capped in his favour, and it's not even decapped. And you're thinking, wow, the communication is just off. But with you guys, you communicate well. And I think that's it's a solid ground for what you need to have a good team, really. Next question is going to be, which in Tournament of Legends 2, unless you want to say anything in particular, of course.
Actually, I have something to say about the communication topic.
Sure, go for it.
Sometimes having good communication is more important than having incredible individual player skill, to be honest. Working with a team well is more important than being really fucking good at something.
Mm-hmm.
That is all.
It's true. No, it's true, because it's teamwork. You can't. I don't feel like. I mean, you can carry like in solo queue or something like that,
Yeah.
but I don't think someone can carry in like the full top end competitive level. I just don't think that's true, because you know he could just be off doing whatever he wants and killing people 1v1. Yeah, that's fine. But if he's not working with the rest of the team and rotating well with the rest of the team, you're just not going to be able to win games. You're not going to be able to cap points. It's just not going to be possible. So.
If you try hard to solo carry a game, you're just gonna get outnumbered because you're solo pushing far or something and die horribly. It's not gonna work. And especially if you have a lineup without a Guardian, without a Thief, you're not fast enough. You have to match numbers every time, because if you get outnumbered, you just die. So communication is even more important without those classes. Like a Thief can make up through mobility, a Guardian through survivability. If you don't have the extremes of both, you can't really make up for it, and that's why in this case communication is really important.
Yeah, this is a team game, and some people tend to forget, I feel like.
I think you're right about that. I think you're right. Just wanted to say very quickly, guys, if you are watching this in the stream, obviously this might be a VOD on YouTube, but if you want to ask any questions that we haven't gone over, please just put them in the chat and I'll try and have a look and go over them. I'll have a look as well quickly while we're just talking to see if there's any questions. Did you feel that in Tournament of Legends 2 there was any games in particular that you found tough? I mean, was there anyone that really, other than maybe 55 HP monks, I don't know if there's anyone lower in the brackets who you kind of were against and it was tough?
I don't think any team in particular gives us a lot of trouble. It's just if we mess up our strategies, we're gonna have trouble. Like against 55 HP monks, we try to switch it up, and we know that we need to have Zapdos in team fights, right? We don't need to have him on back point because he's a staff Ellie. He's better and he's more effective in team fights. And Frey was arguing with me that we should have him on a back point this time instead for some reason. And it kind of screwed us over at the start, but I fixed this and rotated with Zapdos, and I took over the back point rule. And then it just changed the whole game, like instantly. The first game, that's what happened, pretty much.
Okay.
And in the last
It's just
weeks and months of practicing and preparing for the tournament, 55 HP Monks was definitely the team that gave us the most trouble and best games. So they really deserve some credits here for their
they do deserve
EUC.
credit.
They're a great team.
But I don't feel like anyone is giving us that much trouble right now. I would have loved to face TCG in the finals. It's what we all wanted. We just wanted to face TCG in the finals, but you know, they didn't show up for some reason.
So you think Team Mist would probably be, sorry, TCG would be the biggest, the toughest competition potentially?
I wouldn't know since I've never faced them at all.
Oh, you guys
We've
not
never
even
even
Team
faced
Q?
them in Team Q. No, they
Oh
never play.
wow, that's such a
But
shame.
my teammates say that 55 HP monks is actually a better team. I don't know.
As a team,
I
yes.
have no
As a
idea.
team, yes. They have insane synergy between Mass Thief, like the best synergy between two players I've seen so far. And yeah, Team is just too inactive. They are not practicing at all. When I see them playing Team Q, they're just messing around. So it's really hard to tell what state, like the stage of their actually level, because they are really good individual players, but they're not working together as a team as much as other teams, and yeah, it's hard to actually say how good they are.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'd love to fight them, honestly. They
Would you
just never play.
Would you do that? I mean, would you do like
Yeah, I'd be down to do a show
exhibition
match against them, but I don't know if the rest of my team would want to do that right now. We'll have to see.
Yeah, maybe after summer, or see how TOG goes. Tournament of Glory, maybe see if people want to stay. That's true. That would be pretty. I think I was secretly very disappointed that TCG weren't there, because I like the guys from the team. They're okay as well, and met them at Gamescom and stuff. And I think two teams, like, that was a game I wanted to see that match. You know, I wanted to see that pretty badly. I thought it was going to be pretty epic as well for a final, because, like, all credit to Team Exaltation, they just haven't got the experience that you guys have at that kind of end level. And I think they did okay in the final as well. I feel, you know, they got second place, and they deserve to be there, and they beat some really good teams as well. So, but a final between TCG and you guys also would have been, I don't know, pretty epic and pretty good for Guild Wars 2 as well. But
Yeah.
I'm glad Team Exaltation are one of my favourite teams as well. Like, I've got a lot of favourite teams, obviously, because I like but they're a good team, and they don't give up, and they just really try. And yeah, fair play to them. That was good. Let me think of
Yeah, Exaltation, we faced them quite often in Team Q before the actual tournament, so they were practicing and preparing, so they actually deserve the second place.
I think so, yeah, definitely. And they've been doing well. They did well in ESL as well. I remember they did quite big upsets as well. So I'm hoping that they're going to stay together, but I'm not sure about many teams, actually, because I think a lot of teams are disbanding. Like, but not Cheese Mode. I think you guys will just change players, if anything. I don't think you'll disband, or don't disband. But I think, you know, I mean, I guess with that. So when you said about you don't go against teams in Team Q, is there anything? What would you want to actually get you to play Team Q every day solidly with the same guys in Cheese Mode? So Cheese Mode are in Team Q every day, or every other day, or whatever, whenever real life allows.
Okay, that would happen if there were seasons, like a season changing every month or every 2 months, but you actually need to actively play Team Q to get those rewards and have this daily PvP, and not, oh, there's a big tournament in 2 months, let's prepare for this. But oh wait, there's a balance change, we have to change this player out, or no, there are restrictions here, so we have to change this. And then there are some team comps, like some players can't even play on this day, like you saw TCG, like Rom was not available, they didn't play the tournament, and this way you don't have good games as a player. Maybe it's good for the community that they have this one event that they can watch, but if you just have like an ongoing ladder and that's actually active, where you have good games every day, because people try to achieve this rank 1 spot on the leaderboard, because it actually would mean something, and it's actually getting rewarded. There's no reward. I'm like around rank 1 for like 1 year now, and I still got nothing.
I think you just nailed it right there, man. Like, that would keep people playing competitive even in Team Q. Like, right now, no one really cares for it, because there's no point in doing it.
So a league. We're talking about a league here, aren't we?
Yeah, some leagues and some rewards.
Yeah, kind
of things.
Like, there's this problem with the decay and people coming back and skyrocketing to the top. But if you would just have seasons, this problem wouldn't exist, because everybody would play active, and after like 1 or 2 months, the whole thing would reset.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I think you guys played in it. Miss League. Did you guys play in Miss League? I don't know. I'm not sure if it was cheese mode or not, but there was. I don't know if you remember Miss League, but in the end it kind of went. Things happened, but that was a good idea. Actually, a really, really, really good idea that worked for a while. I had a team in it as well. We got absolutely stomped most of the time. We won a couple of games here and there, but like a league system like that, when the end teams go into a playoff, and it actually makes you want to be consistent as well. Like especially if there's prize money at the end, maybe that's something that could go with SPVP hand in hand with like Tournament of Glory or something. Whether or not it's like crazy rewards just because it'd be hand in hand, but it'd be nice consistency to show how good a team is over an extended amount of time, rather than showing up to tournaments potentially we're not practicing too much and then actually just winning it.
With the current system, you can't even practice for a tournament, since on the ladder you can't practice since there are no teams playing.
Yeah.
And then you have this one-time tournament, best of 5, so you lose 3 games. Some teams play high-risk comp. It's always likely that they take some wins off you. And you can't really figure out who's the best by just playing three or 4 games.
Okay, so basically it sounds like I need to try and get someone to we need to try and organise a cheese mode TCG match exhibition game, like best of 5 or something, best of 7, I don't know, something like that.
I'm just talking about the general ladder.
Nice.
No, I'm thinking in my head. That's what I'm thinking about now. But like as something that, because you're saying about the actual team practice, it's like you can't even organise scrims against these teams because they're not playing often because of the reasons we kind of spoke about.
Yeah, and then like 2 weeks before the tournament, you try to organize scrims or something, then other teams are like, or even some players of our team are like, no, if we're going to scrim them, they know how we play and they're going to get an advantage. And so
exactly,
you have no experience, no practice. That's what happened in NA, some completely new team comp that nobody knew before, not even, and it's only a pressure team comp, condition pressure everywhere, no on point, sustain, nothing. Nobody had experience against it, and it won. So those tournaments, the teams are lacking experience, and this is because the ladder is not working. There's no season system or anything.
I think that also makes the meta in the game feel really stale because, I think that if there was actually ladders and leagues, people would have had more practice against our comp. They would have worked around it. They would have had more practice probably to play against us.
Yeah, at the moment everybody just
the meta,
plays.
just the meta in general would evolve more.
Yeah, more faster.
More competition just in team queue.
Everybody tries. At the moment, everybody just plays what they enjoy, what they are best at. They're not trying to change stuff around, because they only need to win or play one time in 3 months with it. And this is what's going to work best for them. But if you would constantly face something that beats you, you must change something. And this would actually force a meta shift, and you could actually see some meta game, developing around. But this way, it's just everybody sticks to his class and plays the same all the time. It's very stale.
Pretty much how we prepared for TOL, alright, is we grouped up together, we talked about what we want to do and what would be best. We figured out the best builds possible, we figured out some strats in just like 3 days, figured out everything, and then we were like, okay, we got a super OP comp, and then we were like playing super well. Let's just take a break until the TOL, and then yeah, that's pretty much how it went, to be honest.
So that's a shame, yeah, because it's nice to see, like, for me, when I jump into solo queue or team queue or something, and I'm like, come up against a full comp, like a proper team that we see in ESL or we see in competitive, or look, we know it is an actual full team, that doesn't actually happen that often, like not even once a day, maybe once a week that happens actually. And it's like you say, there's no reason for you guys to do that. Maybe hopefully in the future that will change, and maybe because of all these tournaments, maybe that will make people want to be a little bit more consistent. But I think, like you said, with some consistent kind of league or some league system, that would be quite a good idea. I'm just trying to think. Everyone's in the chat's just like, yeah, we want to see TCG versus Cheese Mode. Let's do it now. I'm not sure Aswan will be able to play from Croatia, unfortunately. Unless he finds a McDonald's. You never know. You never know.
They suggested that they would put their legendaries from Gamescom on the line in a scrim against us, and we put our TML legendaries, and whoever wins take the other team's legendary.
Wow.
I'd be down to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
epic.
care about the legendary.
Oh, wait. How many legendaries
want
do you
some
have,
good games.
Hibbert?
I don't think everyone's gonna agree on that.
Zatos is like,
Yeah,
no.
Everyone's
my
gonna agree
legendary.
with it, but I want to do it. I really do.
Unless maybe Hibify gets all the mats together so that he can back up, just in case. Maybe Hibify is just really confident.
I am actually. I know that we can beat them for sure.
How do you feel, Zapdos?
Yeah, I think it's still in our favor, but as I said, high risk comp, everything can happen.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's tough as well because they are a good team and they've got good communication as well. These guys know each other pretty well.
It's gonna be awesome.
As well. I think it'd be good because I think, yeah, like you say, you guys just know each other as well with your communication skills and the comp. I think that's a comp that they would find hard to deal with and they'd have to run around it to different degrees, you know. But I think if anyone's going to give you a tough game, like 55, I'm not sure they were on their A game at TOL.
Probably
or they
not,
tried.
because they didn't emphasize on our mistakes at first.
And it's a different comp, you know, it's to what they would normally
Like-
face as well. So
What I think our comp
is
is
good.
so good right now, just people don't know how to play against it right. So
Mhm.
like, people still need to figure it out. That's why it's so strong right now.
yeah,
It's a new playstyle, it's a new composition, it's.
But
just
you're
new
good
everything,
players.
and it's
You're still
just
good players.
Too much for people to just figure it out right now. I think
Yeah,
it's gonna take
that's
some
true.
more time.
Yeah, it will take some more time, and we have to wait for the next tournament that we are actually playing again, and it's just so slow because there is no daily. VP.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I hope that we will see you at Tournament of Glory because personally I would like to. So do it. Make sure it happens. Hashtag Jebro, please go to Tournament of Glory. But you won't say anything about that, obviously. We'll find out in the coming weeks and months because there isn't actually long to go. Actually, if you want to participate in Tournament of Glory, you do have to sign up by the 5th of September as a date that is kind of nailed into my head. So you haven't got too long to work it out, I suppose. So there's a little bit of pressure, I guess, as well. But we shall see. You can have subs, of course. I can't remember exactly how many. I think it's 1 or 2. Might be a bit different. But there was some announcements on Ready Up. I didn't actually watch it because I was prepping the show. So I'm not sure if there is anything about Tournament of Glory in there. So I'll have to check afterwards.
I think it would be silly for my team not to play in the Tournament of Glory, even if we can go to China.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we can still play with me and Azura in the tourney, even though if they tell us I can't even play for a European team, even if I go live in Europe for it.
Would you do that?
Winning the Tournament of Glory is going to guarantee you to go to China, pretty much. And you can replace 2 people anyway on the roster. So I think it would be silly for my team not to play in it at all.
I think they'd just be
I'm pretty
sad.
sure I'll be
wouldn't
able
they?
to convince them to play it, to be honest.
That Canadian persuasion.
Yeah. Well, I persuaded them to run the comp. I can
That's
probably
very
make it happen
true.
for the tourney.
That's true. If you can persuade a team to drop a Guardian, or to not use a Guardian and go with 2 Ellies, maybe. What do you think, Zabdos? Do you think that's
this
likely?
is the thing with our Guardian. we tried it before when Ranger was in the meta, and Ranger was actually a bunker. Like, you remember maybe Symbolic being a backpoint Ranger as a bunker?
Mhm.
We tried to use that as a replacement for Guardian back in the times, but it didn't work out too well because the support was too slow.
It's
wasn't
too
e- wasn't enough.
selfish.
Yeah. But
What's so good
Stuffily
about our
right
comp
now
right now?
actually brings support.
Yeah, everyone can support each other.
Mhm.
We have like insane amounts of support from the engineer and the Ellies, and the warrior can support through CCing, just peeling.
Yeah, it's true. I think when people think of support, sometimes they just think about pure like healing and boons and stuff like that. They don't actually think about the support that comes out from, say, a stun or an immobilize or something. Because I
It
count
helps
that.
a lot.
Yeah, I count that as a support, especially if someone's on your back and they're trying to take you down, which is you're always going to be the likely target. And I think it's said earlier, as I'm casting your games, I'm watching you guys play, I notice that someone's always coming to someone else's rescue if they're in trouble. And there'll be like a warrior normally who's applying that CC or a DDLE or something like that, who can actually get some knockback off or something like that. So that is really good and very, very true. I'm just going to have a look in chat. I'm not sure there's any more questions. We're not going to answer any questions about Ready Up. Sorry, guys. That's just happened and I didn't actually watch it because I said I was prepping for the show. Is there anything you guys would like to say before we actually finish this interview?
I don't know. There's nothing really like huge I want to say, but except even though people make it sound like our team is just cheese and OP and we're 5 bunkers, we don't have anyone like especially bursty on the team at all. But if we coordinate together, we can kill some targets instantly. It's just yeah.
I think you're right.
Know.
A lot of it is, because I think when you're a team as well who don't get beaten too much and it's considered cheesy and stuff, because if it was really that easy, then everyone should just run it, because then they'd just beat you, It would just be that easy.
I think it would be healthy for the game's competitive to see more stuff like this. And what counters this is an even better coordinated, really bursty comp. So I'd like to see this happen. I'd like to make my team run like 4 or 5 Zerkers amulet now. But right now it would be stupid to do that.
For you guys it would be, yeah, because
we have to force
consistently
people out
winning.
of this bunker meta first, and then maybe we can pick this up.
So you guys want to be the forerunners of like meta building, really, which is kind of what you were.
Just pioneering meta games right now. This is what I'm trying to do.
Awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Zapdos, before we go?
Yeah, as I said, any good double dagger elementalist, contact me in game because we need to replace Lord Azura at least for the China tournament. And also other classes or players, but only at the top level. Like on a mechanical skill level, it needs to be like almost perfect for at least duels and stuff. Like rotations can be practiced and commission too, but that be over age of 18 and yes, bring a lot of skill. That's the requirements. And
it's actually
I just
not a
hope
bad
that,
idea.
Yeah, we need to increase and invite more players to our roster due to this. And I also hope that the meta or the devs are not changing every single direction, that we got to reroll every single time. Like I rerolled from Mesmer to Necro to Ellie to Warrior to Ellie again. I have no class played over 20% because the balancing is being messed up so many times.
Yeah.
Like nobody is actually like communicating with top teams what their view on current balance state is. So I'm always like praying and hoping they do the right stuff, but you can never be sure. And in my opinion, they should just talk to top teams, not just one team like Team Paradigm back in the days, and just balance stuff into their favor, but instead speak to many teams and to many top teams and see and get a little bit into their thoughts and minds, what they think about current classes and balancing, and then put everything together so they don't get just influenced by one team too much, but instead get an overview over all teams and different views. That's what I think, that there should be more communication with the players, because it's really frustrating and annoying if you got to reroll every single time.
I think you forgot some details for your recruitment announcement. You have to be 18-year-old or more, and also you have to be living in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So guys, like they just said, If you want to be part of Cheese Mode and have some fun with these guys and play with them and see what happens, then make sure you get in contact with one of these guys. I'm sure if this goes on YouTube or whatever, we'll put in the description maybe account names so that people can get in touch with you as well. So when they've watched this video, they can
Also,
get
in addition, please, we had many people who had a wrong view on their actually skill. So maybe we don't want like 1,000 players applying to us. When I was looking on the forum for people, we had so many players who thought they're the best, and it turned out that it wasn't quite true. And going through testing process, it takes a while until you figure out, was it just he made a mistake this duel, or will he do it in a week again, and will he do it constantly? It's hard to figure out, and just testing for hours and nothing comes out, and then you have to do it again with another player, can be quite frustrating. So please, only if you're like the best on what you do.
Awesome. Okay. Before I cease the interview, as I will say, just a little.
One more thing to say. Sorry.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Okay. It really sucks that there's a age restriction, because we really love to play with Lord Azura on our team, but we're gonna have to replace him, unfortunately, if we want to play in that cash tournament. So I wanted to add, like, we love Lord Azura.
Oh.
Yeah, also Lipion, a great warrior that I recruited.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ray wanted to stop this game. Now he got new motivations for this China tournament, but I plan to play with Lipion, a really good warrior. So, shout out to him. Great warrior, but unfortunately we can't play with him. Not 18. Too young for esports.
It's also why, like, our team wants to potentially quit the game, you know?
Yeah.
It's because of all these restrictions, which makes our team, like, we're in a bad spot right now to play on a tourney. We don't even know if we're going to be able to.
Yeah, restrictions and one player losing interest because of his class, a ranger.
Yeah, it would be sad to see.
What bugs me a lot is just this region restriction.
Well, maybe we'll see some more info. I'm not sure if it's 100% sorted yet, so we'll have to watch out for some more news, because I think in the blog post it was kind of vague as to exactly what was the exact restrictions and whatnot. So if we wait for some more info, maybe we can do another interview when people are a little bit more sure about the actual team and how it's coming up again. Because I'd like to speak to you all together. Sure. That's for sure. So we are going to end the interview now, but just before we go, just wanted to plug the 2v2 tournament, which is the People's 2v2 tournament, which is happening on the August the 31st, which is this Sunday, I do believe. I'm not sure of the exact timings. It says 2 p.m. I'm not sure in what region that is, so hopefully someone from DPS will just put that region in the actual stream chat there. And it's a $10 entry fee for each team as well. And if you want to donate to that, I think you can donate as well. There are links below the stream and probably the YouTube video if it goes out before the actual Sunday. But yeah, I mean, the pot is over... Oh, wow, okay. It's over $200 at the moment. So that's pretty sweet for a team to win. There's some cash prize there. And for 2v2s, you know, that's $100 each. That's pretty sweet. I don't know if that's the exact pot that you're going to get, because there's obviously more than one team that's going to get some money. So I'd say 100 or so. But anyway, before I get myself into trouble, thank you, Hibify, and thank you very much, Zapdos from Cheese Mode, your winners of Tournament of Legends 2 from EU. And
thanks, Jeb, dude.
No worries. Anytime.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, it was good fun. You're a good bunch of guys, and hopefully we'll still see you in the Cheese Mode factory. All right then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you very, very soon.